I was going to tell you I was running kind of late myself. I'm actually in Minneapolis right now visiting a friend, staying at his house. You might see some like dogs walking around.
I'm for it, man. Minneapolis rocks. I'll tell you what, I really like it there.
I got lost in the Mall of America parking lot for like a good 15 minutes at a minimum.
You know, it's I haven't been there, even though I know that's like the draw. That's like the Mecca.
How have you gone there and not gone to the mall?
I know. I did a show. I had a stand-up show there when I went on tour last November before the world was on fire.
Right.
And there's some pups. But my cousin lives in Minneapolis, but I'd never been before, so I was like, this is gonna be bad because it was one of the bigger venues that I had booked, and then it ended up being like the best spot of the tour. It ended, like I was very surprised at the turnout, and everyone the crowd was awesome. I was just pleasantly surprised because I didn't know what to expect.
I love the people out here because they have just the best combination of both politeness and irreverence. Yeah. Like nothing offends them, and they're also just very nice people.
I'm with you there.
It's like best of both worlds.
It's that good Midwest, baby. Where are you from originally, Dan?
I'm from Chicago.
Cool.
How have you been?
Been good. I mean, I'm in LA, so it's been like full lockdown, like, you know,
right,
more than other places. So they started to try to open stuff back up, and then like literally a week later, like, nope, no. All back to being closed. So feeling very much in prison, but my fiance and I have been getting into tennis. We just because it's a good like social distanced like activity. And so just to stay active. And so forgive me, I am a sweating greasy mess. So that's good.
When did you get engaged? Congratulations. Oh, hey, we're Mike twins.
Yeah, right. Got the snowball, baby.
Fucking A, right.
I got engaged in November too, so it's been. It doesn't feel because now time is not linear.
Time doesn't exist anymore now.
Time isn't a real thing, but it feels recent. I mean, we're definitely planning a wedding that we thought would, you know. It's crazy that we're, you know, our date is in February, but. We'll see. Hopefully, we'll see. I mean,
we'll make it happen. You'll make it happen. If you need
I'm hoping.
If you need a semi-competent and affordable photographer, holler at your boy.
Hey, there you go.
You know. What have you been doing to occupy your time while in lockdown?
I have definitely like maybe in the first month of quarantine, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna really stay on a crazy like creative regimen, and like, cause who knows how long this is gonna last. Like we didn't know how long it was gonna last. Sure. And so I started to like really try to write a lot of new stuff, new songs and things. And after a minute I was like, well, we're gonna, you know, a few weeks went by and I was like, okay, I want to not write about coronavirus because I was seeing everyone posting like stuff about coronavirus. So I'm like, I'm sure once things open back up, people are not going to want to hear about it. You know what I mean?
Like, and like everyone's next hour-long special is going to start with a bit about coronavirus.
Everyone's going to have a hot take on coronavirus. And I was like, I'm really going to challenge myself to not write about it, to write anything other than what you know, the current situation. And then I realized, like, then I just kind of ran out of gas because you have to write about, you know, what you know and what you're observing. So it's like, and then I kind of, you know, as time drug on, everyone's been hit with it to some degree, I'm sure, but I just got the sads for like a month and a half. But I've been trying again to like refocus myself and just learning like basic editing. I was just fucking around with GarageBand. I got some new microphones and bought a green screen, playing around with iMovie. So just trying to mess around and make some some funny stuff at my house. So just trying to stay productive and failing, but trying.
I mean, especially like with production qualities for like currently being made, talk shows, whatever the fuck else, the bar is set really low. So like now is the time.
I mean, everyone's doing it right now, but I'm just like, I might as well try to use this time to learn some new skill, it's crazy, man. Like, I've been playing music a long time. It's something I do for my livelihood, and it is insane how little I know about recording and how bad I am to playing with the metronome click track. Like, I'm just really bad at it. And so I'm like, I need to get better at this.
You could just make, like a lo-fi acoustic album, kind of like the Mountain Goats in the 90s. That'd be a fun throwback.
I mean, that's the thing, man. It's crazy. Like, over the years, I have recorded a few songs here and there, like actual recordings of them. And to me, there's something about a live recording that has like a real audience's laughs in it that just, for my stuff, it makes it much better. Because when you make a recording, like a studio version of something, there's something about like you now have to take into consideration, like, is it good? Like, not right. Is it good? Because I want the live to be a good quality too, but like you have to worry more about like, am I going to add drums? Does this give this a different feel? Like, is this the timbre that I'm going for? And it's like, the answer is always no. It's not as funny to me once I can it, You
came out with your album Guitar Comic last year. I was actually there for the night of the recording. It was a lot of fun. It was at the Beat Kitchen. Is that why you initially decided to just record it live and go from there?
It's not why, but it's I know that I just wanted to make a live album just because and especially at the Beat Kitchen, I love Chicago. I love, that's home base. Even though I'm not from there, that is definitely where I, came up doing comedy. And I appreciate the heck out of you being that night too. Seriously,
dude.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me go downstairs and interview with you after you had done like a long ass set. Like, you didn't have to do that.
Oh, dude, no problem. No problem at all. You went down to the very, very official green room, which is the unfinished basement of the Beat Kitchen. It's my favorite hellhole.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it was. I'm really glad that you came, and it was a fun night for me. I know, but it was like, it's crazy to think too, like how many years worth of material ended up going into that show, but then how much, like, once you release something, you're like, oh, I would do this 1,000 times smarter and more efficient, and like. Now I listen to it and the only thing I can hear is like all the things that I would change. You know what I mean? It's hindsight kind of
One thing I'll say I'm very proud of is that night, and I think this was like off mic, I told you this. You're like, yeah, I'm not sure if I'm actually going to put like the burglar stories in between the songs. I might just put the songs. I was like, dude, you need to put the stories in. Like, you absolutely need. And then I was listening to it in my car when it came out. I was like, fucking A-righty, put them in.
Put that 9-minute long, not funny, intense burglar story. Yeah.
Every time I hear the word "cumrag," I will think of you, Luke.
Hey, it's the fucked up thing about that story is it's all true. Like, it sounds fake, and it's not fake. Yeah.
Those are always the best stories.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in the moment I wasn't thinking about that, but then like the day after I was like, this is one for the books, huh?
Yeah. It's like the centerpiece of the album.
Hey, I think so too.
Have you, did you watch the last few episodes of SNL where they essentially just recorded everything in their homes?
No, I saw like maybe a short clip on Twitter or something of like, but it's weird, man. There's it's cool that they were able to do something like that given the circumstances. Sure. We'll see like when they are supposed to go back. I mean, it's coming up. It's a month away or something, a month and a half.
Yeah,
right?
no, it's like cast stuff hasn't been announced. Like it's this weird like standstill.
Yeah, it's weird too. I know, like I've been gone now for two seasons, and it's funny to me to look back on it. I guess only one season has aired since I've been gone.
Honestly, again, time doesn't matter anymore.
It's not real, but I think I know I left in 2018, and then it would have had to be 2, right? I don't know.
Were you were there for? It was the season following the election, right? That you came on.
Yes, I was there. Trump's first. Yeah, so I was there 2017 to 2018, and then they would have had 2018 to 2019. Then
what was it like?
The only season, right?
What was it like in the writers' room every week with the 24 hours news cycle being as outrageous as it was? Did you guys ever just have a hard time keeping up with the news or trying to like outdo the actual reality?
That's definitely a thing where it's like, especially with the Trump circus, what's news on Monday and what you're trying to think about what you're going to write for the week. By Friday night, that's not the story anymore. I mean, that's kind of his entire like expertise is to always be having a news scandal so that you don't focus on the old one. And it's like,
right.
The other thing that's weird too is like, it's a lot of people. It's a lot of writers. When I was there, it was 16 cast members and 16 writers. I'm not sure what the number and the ratio is right now, but it was a lot of people, and it's a lot of cooks in the kitchen. And like, as far as like cold open stuff, they won't really focus on it until the middle of the week. Like they almost encourage normal, like for me, a first year cast member, like they were like, don't even try to write one of the political sketches. You know what I mean? Like I have the powers that be, Colin Jost is always one of the ones writing the cold open, and they kind of have some of the seasoned vets kind of writing the cold open like halfway through the week. I mean, they'll read something at the table, but they're usually that's the last sketch to be written because of what you said and because of what I said, like the news cycle. It's but you're right. Like I was there in Trump's first full year, and it was already like to the point of exhaustion. Like people were already so tired of it because it's just such a clown show in and of itself that it's like, it's not fun to make fun of something that's already so fucking absurd.
Who was your favorite host from the year you worked there?
I think, it's hard because like, especially someone like me who was like in the show for 5 minutes collectively the whole season.
That horn sketch was pretty good.
Hey, thanks, man. Me and Heidi are at that. But the shows that I was in more are the things that, plenty of my sketches got cut at dress rehearsal too. So you are like not seeing a lot of the work that goes in during the week, but the weeks that your stuff is in the show, you spend more time with the hosts. So like the hosts that I would say I enjoyed more were just simply the ones that I got to spend a lot more time with simply because my sketches were picked. But like John Mulaney is one of my all-time faves.
Fantastic.
And it was really weirdly nice of him. Like he picked 2 of my sketches to be in his episode, which was
he did seem to really like you.
Yeah, he did. He liked my writing style at least, and
nice,
which was cool. I mean, it's validating, especially because it's the kind of place where when it's not going well. So when somebody puts a little wind in your sails. Sorry. It feels good. I mean, and you like that person, like Saoirse Ronan too. I was, when she was hosting, she was really cool. I got to spend a lot of time with her, and she was.
Oh yeah, that was her in the classroom sketch where like it was like you and Kenan kind of going back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I had a lot more stuff in that show too. I had 2 things that got cut. at dress rehearsal that week too. I had an update and had another sketch, but we also had Floribama Shore, which I wrote with Andrew Dismukes and Heidi.
Oh, I did. I did tell somebody at my job recently that my favorite food is gum.
I can't take credit for that line. That's an Andrew Dismukes. Actually, I think that's Heidi. I think that's a Heidi line.
Nice.
My favorite food is gum. Yeah, those are the most fun things to write, like the confessional intros. I wish, because like there's in the dress rehearsal, they aired like a 4-minute version of that sketch. And then for air, they had to cut it to like 2.5 minutes.
Aww.
And so there was a lot of lines and I'm like, oh man, I wish. But there was one, I remember there was like a night vision camera of Mikey Day and Saoirse like having sex. And then me coming into the room and being like, hey, Trish, you said I could have sex with you after he was done. I just want to get this out, in the open really quick. I am normal size down there, but it is all tip. And that was a line that Andrew Dismukes and I were like, we got to get the all tip.
That's amazing.
No, the normal size wiener, but all tip line. And
hey, it ain't
that
the
one
meat, but the motion.
Did not make it in.
That's a shame. That's a shame. How old are you, Luke, if you don't mind me asking?
I just turned 30 last month.
Oh, well, happy belated first and foremost. So like,
thank you.
I'm going to be 33 this month. And so like we kind of grew
Jesus
up in
year. Your Jesus year.
Something like that. Yeah, no, just ugh. I mean, the world is coming to an end, so I guess it kind of checks out. But we kind of like grew up around the same time. So even if you didn't like watch it, you were aware of things like All That and Kenan and Kel.
Oh yeah, of course.
And like flash forward, 20 years later, you're working alongside Kenan Thompson. How surreal was that shit?
It is surreal, but I'll tell you what, like, day one when you're meeting everyone there, it's definitely like Kenan to me. I've been watching him since I was, 5 years old.
Exactly.
And all that. Like I've known who he was. Like Good Burger is a classic in our house. My little brother wore the VHS tape out, that orange Nickelodeon VHS.
I'm trying to nail down an interview with Kel Mitchell right now. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Kel rocks. Danny Tamborelli rocks. I got to meet him at some after parties.
Oh, nice. Big Pete.
Yeah. Or Lil Pete.
Little Pete. Yeah. No, Big Pete is the tall, skinny dude.
Yeah. But yeah, Kenan definitely was like one of the more starstruck that I was. But I'll tell you what, he's just the best. He's so down to earth and so normal and is like the shining example of like it's possible to be a kid star and actually be a normal, well-adjusted guy.
Yeah.
His daddy is. And he just treated me so kindly, especially for a new guy who was getting his butt kicked from the first day, that he's somebody that, he lives up to the hype, and he's somebody who is very welcoming and very kind and just very chill, just a good dude.
Nice. We've been in quarantine for 5 months and counting. It's very improbable at this point that things are going to go back to normal anytime soon. What are some of the things that you definitely took for granted back in the day that you just kind of wish you could do now? Like, for example, I miss just being able to go to Target, walk around, pick up a pair of pants, decide I don't need them at the last minute, put them where the candy is supposed to be, and leave.
Yeah, you want to jam them in the candy bins directly adjacent to the checkout.
Yeah, like under the Baby Ruth bars so nobody notices.
Yeah, the impulse buy aisle.
Oh, yeah, 5 Hour Energies.
Yes, condoms.
Rolls, condoms.
Yeah, the good stuff.
All the good stuff.
I think selfishly I miss doing stand-up. It's been hard not because it's just something you don't, when everything is normal, I didn't notice how much time and energy I was putting into just like performing all of the time. You know what I mean? It's just something I've been doing my entire career that I didn't think that there would be a time where I wasn't doing that. And then just like abruptly not doing it anymore has been like, and now it's been 5 months. And then there's, it's been 5 months. So now it feels like, I guess I'm just never going to do that again. Like it's almost scary to me to now that I'm like out of my performing stand-up nonstop cloud, even though I don't see it as a cloud. But like now that I'm looking back and I see how much I was performing, it's almost daunting to think again, like, oh, I need to get back to running and gunning, driving all over Los Angeles, scheduling tour date. It's like it's you're hustling for sure, but I'm in Zoom shows are just simply the worst. It's just I need to stop agreeing to do them. They're just there's something about live.
I see when I'm not wanted.
Yeah, exactly. I'll go the extra mile and say I'm excited to never use Zoom ever again. I'll say that.
Fair enough.
Cannot wait to uninstall this application.
Oh, it's terrible. I miss interviewing people face to face so much.
Yeah, it is, that's just like the comedy side of things that I miss. But yeah, you're right. I do miss being able to, go out to eat. That's something me and my fiance love to do. That's like our favorite thing to do together is go find new restaurants and travel. And that's something we have not been able to do. And it's a fucking bummer. It's just, it
absolutely is.
But and gotta stay positive.
I'm at a point where, this has become the new normal for long enough where I'll watch movies that were made in like 2019 or before, and I'll get nervous about how close together people are standing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you ever see the documentary Dave Chappelle's Block Party?
No, I never saw a block party.
Oh, well, long story short, he puts together this concert in the middle of Brooklyn, and it's like,
I knew that.
Peak like Kanye West, Talib Kweli, Mos Def back when he was Mos Def. But I just I couldn't get through the whole thing because just everyone was so like packed together. And it was dude, this was shot in like 2003. And I'm getting nervous for these people's health.
I think didn't Dave Chappelle, isn't Kanye West's first TV appearance on the Chappelle show? Something there's a lot of people that were on the Chappelle show as his musical guest that it was their first appearance.
Oh yeah, it was him and Common.
Right. Yeah. That's awesome.
You want to hear about the worst timing I've ever had with an interview, speaking of Kanye West?
Yes, this is you're setting the bar up high for this. The preamble to this.
I interviewed GLC, Kanye's longtime collaborator, Spaceship, Drive Slow, all that shit. Mm-hmm. But I interviewed him, and we obviously went into this long preamble about how he reconnected with Kanye. He's I think he's mentally in a good place right now. He seems happy. 2 days later, Kanye announces his presidential run.
Oh, snap. Yeah. I think that wasn't that long ago then.
Yeah. But it was the first interview I've ever posted that I had to put a disclaimer on the beginning.
Dang. Then I want to try to top it and see if I can say something here where you're like, Luke rattles off he runs his freaking mouth and he's really going to trigger you. He's really going to say some stuff that people don't like.
Just get on IG Live, fuck Kenan Thompson.
Yeah, right. Oh God, that's blasphemy.
No, absolutely. We wouldn't. That wasn't funny. I'm sorry.
No, I'm for it. There's hell to pay though. Good Kenan story. Here's a good Kenan story from SNL. The holiday, the Christmas episode, they had us all say good nights from the ice in, right there.
I remember that.
And they had us all skating around, and most of us didn't really know how. I've ice skated a few times, but I'm not confident, and I feel like I was in the upper echelon of confidence of the cast. So most of us are just trying not to fall down on TV. And Kenan comes out hands behind his back, like gliding so gracefully and like doing like figure eights and like he God. Like did like the bully from like 80s movies, like screeched to a stop and sprayed us with God, ice chips. And we were all like, how are you so good? And he's like, Mighty Ducks, baby. Mighty Ducks.
Yeah. Just stunting on people. Did he threaten to close down the rec center after?
Yeah, exactly. He did. Unless we beat him in a downhill slalom.
Mighty Ducks 5 this time. But it's for the rec center.
It was damn impressive. I was like, dude, he's like, yeah, they made us do like a 6-week intensive to learn how to ice skate. And he's like, and I just,
oh my God,
it's like riding a bike. And I'm like, damn.
Good for him. Yeah, it wasn't like Leslie Jones like standing on like a patch of not ice
carpet.
Yeah. Now I remember that was one of the shows I watched live, and I was like, man, good for her. Just not even trying. You there?
I am there. Did you miss me?
A little bit.
Sorry. Yeah, whatever I said was very controversial. Whatever you lost, it was a very hot take.
One would assume that is exactly what you're known for here.
Yep, exactly. Really,
like on my podcast specifically.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. As soon as things do go back to normal, what is the first thing that you are going to do?
Probably sounding like a broken record, but schedule a bunch of shows.
Do it.
I think travel. I think get the hell out of Los Angeles for a little while would be nice and smart. If it's responsible to do.
Come out here, we'll get a drink.
Hey, I love me some Minneapolis, I'll tell you what. Or if you're back in Chicago.
Oh, yeah, I go back to Chicago tomorrow.
Oh, I love Chicago even more.
Oh, the IO Theater recently announced it's shut down. What is your take?
I'm not surprised by it at all. It's something like that was kind of always in the ether, even when I began taking classes there. It was, rumors that it was, I started taking classes when it was right by Wrigley Field, so the old IO space. And then I finished and I made a team. I was one of the first teams to be made in the new IO location, RIP. But when they moved locations, it was a constant topic of conversation of like, we don't think it's going to be, it was, right. I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised that it went under, but I will say I understand why it did. And I think it was, that the concerns and that everything is absolutely valid. Sure. It just stinks because it is such with all of its problems, it was still somewhere that that a community could be formed around. And it stinks that it's gone because now there's a lot of very talented people who don't have an ability to be showcased. I know that I got to be on Saturday Night Live because I performed at IO Theater, and now that is not a way in anymore. The way has been shut.
It always struck me as like the place one would go if they didn't want to go to Second City.
It is. I mean, ideally, the thing that's great about Chicago is that you don't have to choose. Like, you can perform everywhere. That's one thing that's really nice about Chicago. Once you get knee deep in Second City, it kind of demands more of your time. But like, ideally, you're performing at every theater in the city because they have, the opportunities are there. And that's something that is nice about the Chicago comedy scene that appears to be, not a thing anymore. It seems like Second City is not long for this world. It seems like all of the comedy as a business right now is not in a good place. So,
so I will try to end this on a lighter note. Let's get
real depressing.
My fellow SNL fanatic, Will, a good friend of mine I worked with at Grub.
Shout out to Will.
What up, Will? But I told him earlier today, I was like, yo, I'm interviewing Luke Null. Would it be considered in poor taste if I asked him to beatbox at the end of the interview?
Oh, I mean,
and he said, absolutely not.
No.
So like, I'm trying to put together like I've never had it like an intro song for my podcast, but if I could use your beatbox as like the skeleton for it, like,
ooh.
Yeah, if we could do like 4 to 6 bars, and then I could just loop it from there.
Now, if you want the bars,
be greatly appreciated.
And then I'm also like, because I'll tell you what, I'm not, even though like it's weird that that's one of the few things that I got to do on the show, and I'm like, anyone who's like actually a good beatboxer would be like, yeah, this guy's you are not good, and I'm not good, but I was just happened to be the only guy who's like was even a bit able to do it at all. But I'll give you what I did, which is the basic beatbox that I did on Saturday Night Live, and then I'll also give you a freaking take 2 with some with a dubstep remix, dude. Give you the dubstep.
All right, let's do the thing.
So your basic beat is something close to a loop that, no problem.
Awesome.
Then you got the that's dubstep, I guess. I don't know. Kill me.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that's for scene transitions within there. But yeah, it's all I got. So
it's going to be that. It's like that. That'll be the guitar strumming that like you hear, in between Mark Maron's monologue and the interview.
Yes, that's the Jack White song. Yeah, exactly. It's the Jack White song between Conan's. Which one?
Oh yeah,
yeah. Conan.
I'm so glad Jack White got brought up in both of my interviews with you.
Oh, he's the best. He's the coolest
awesome.
dude.
No, I'd kill to see him live again.
Oh, dude, me too. He rocks.
Shout out to Jack White. Well, Luke, thank you so much as always for your time. Much love to you. Seriously, like you're in Chicago next, I'll buy you a beer.
Hey, Dan, appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me back on.